Thanks, Travis. My name is Steve Crawford. I'm the police chief here in Bozeman, and thank you for joining us today. Unfortunately, this is a very sad day, and I would ask that those that are coming in the room to have a seat, sit down for a minute. Don't loiter in the corner over there. We're all here because of an extremely tragic event that occurred over this weekend involving an apparent homicide-suicide involving a member of our staff. The persons killed in this event are Zach and Danielle Heninger. Zach was an officer for our department. Zach is suspected of killing his wife and then killing himself. Excuse me. To say that we're in shock is an understatement. We're still processing and working through this. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families of both Zach and Danielle. Our thoughts are also with the three children that are left without parents. So about 11:30 p.m. on July 29th, our officers responded to a disturbance, located two adults with gunshot wounds. Our officers and medical staff attempted life-saving efforts. Both were transported to the hospital, but those efforts were unsuccessful in reviving them. Given that this involved a member of our staff, I requested the Montana Department of Criminal Investigation conduct the investigation. This is twofold. One, to provide an outside independent into the investigation to determine what happened, the facts, and then secondarily to not have further traumatize either members of my staff or the sheriff's office in having to work this terrible scene. So it's currently being investigated by DCI, and also the Park County coroner is responsible for the investigation. When this occurred, a large number of my officers responded to the event. Virtually the entire, there's two shifts that are on at that time, and basically they were all there in one capacity or another. And so it impacts about 25% of my patrol division directly, who was at the scene, and that the impact of an event like this is profound. It also impacts terribly all the rest of us that are left asking why, and friends and families and co-workers. So what I wanted today to really kind of focus on is talking about what we are doing, and then some of the things that are going to happen moving forward, and then at the end of this, I can take a few questions. Right now our priority is supporting our staff, our family, and our officers and their families. We are working with specially trained officers from outside agencies to assist with critical incident stress management debriefings, and these officers are coming to us from the Montana Highway Patrol in Butte-Silverbow, and we will be doing a series of debriefings, basically geared towards three audiences. The first debriefing is geared towards the officers, the medical staff, emergency firefighters, and ER staff, and dispatchers, everybody who had to deal with this terrible tragedy directly is the first group that we're doing a debrief. It's super critical that we help our folks process this. The second group that we will be having a debrief for are co-workers and friends that are affected by this that didn't respond to the scene. And then the third critical incident stress debrief we're going to do is geared towards the families of the officers, because they're directly affected by this as well, by what's going on with their spouse. And in addition to that, we've got internal. We're doing everything we can to support our folks as we move through this, and then also reaching out to and supporting the families of Zach and Danielle. So I would ask for the public's patience as the investigation is being conducted by DCI. I would also ask that the public keep our law enforcement family and the victim's family in their thoughts and prayers, and I would add that their support is much appreciated, and we have received significant support from community members as the news has kind of broken about this, and it's much appreciated. this is it's a terrible event, and there's nothing good about it. I appreciate the assistance that we've gotten from, I do want to thank Gallatin County, both the 911 Center, the Sheriff's Office, MSU Police, Bozeman Fire, AMR, Bozeman Deaconess, DCI, Park County, the Highway Patrol, and Beat Silverboat for directly assisting us getting through this event. And then the additional support has also been there. We've received a good amount of support from area agencies. I would add that the investigation of this event continues. DCI is responsible, and any specific investigation related questions will need to be directed to their public information officer. And I have time to answer a few questions, and then afterwards Sergeant Munter is going to speak a little more in detail about what those critical incident stress management debriefs entail, and how something like this affects our responders. And so with that, I'll take a couple of questions.
How long had Zach worked for the department?
Zach been with us 12 years.
In what roles did
he's been a patrol officer. He was one of our rotational detectives, and he was also for a number of years on our tactical team. Yes.
And where are the kids at this time?
They're with family.
Did you have any history of partner family abuse?
Not that I'm aware.
Have police ever responded to their residents before for any incidents?
Can you talk a little bit about what Zach and Danielle were like as people as you got to know them?
Solid, great people. So, something, and I guess this hammers home how unexpected it is. So just both great people.
So is Zach a veteran?
Zach had served in the Marine Corps.
Any PTSD that you
encountered? Not that I'm aware. And I guess I'll take two more, and then I'll give it to Travis.
Children at home at the time of this incident?
Children were present in residence, yes.
Did the oldest son make the 911 call?
I can't get into specific details. That'll have to come from DCI.
When you say disturbance, what do you mean by there? You just want to disturbance?
Well, that's how dispatch coded it, and so there was reported gunshots, and so we have a disturbance gunshots, and then those things rapidly kind of get updated, and facts change, additional information comes in, and then we start to figure out what we're dealing with. But that's how it was reported. So that's what it all started as.
Where was the residence?
It's on the 100 block East Story. All right. If there's.
Were they married?
Yes.
And not separated?
Correct. Yep. I'm going to let Sergeant Munter speak a little bit about critical incident stress management, the importance of it. I would reiterate that this is a very traumatic event, both for especially Danielle's family, and we want to support them as best we can. And it's a kind of, for at least for my organization, an unprecedented hit to us to have this happen, and the effect on staff is tremendous. And I want to give praise to the folks I've seen for their professionalism, the crew that responded, and the investigators afterwards. And then as we come back to work and realize that we still got a job to do, and so they've been doing a great job. So, thank you.
All right, I'd like to again reiterate, echo what Chief Crawford said. You know, the members of our department, our hearts really go out to members of the family. But as Chief Crawford said, one of the things that we're also doing to make sure that our own families, our law enforcement, emergency services family, is taken care of, is doing different debriefings. I can say that, you know, that even the evening of, we took some steps to take care of the staff and the members of our department that responded to the scene. Anytime you have an unexpected occurrence like this, and then come to find out it's one of your own when you get there, it can be that kind of a shock to the system. So a lot of things that we do to take care of each other is just the talking, and we have some specially trained people both in our department as well as several other departments and agencies around us that we rely upon to work with each other to deal with these type of situations. This is obviously unique to a lot of things that we haven't experienced, so it has some challenges with it. But what we did again is that we've met with the troops, the guys and gals that night that unfortunately had to respond to this, and also brought in personnel to our briefings. We had them run our offices to make sure that they are aware of the resources that we have available through the Gallup County Critical Incident Stress Management Team, as well as the teams from Butte, Bow, and members from the Highway Patrol as well. So coming up, what is also going to happen again is that we'll do a debriefing with those that responded directly to the scene, and that includes all the way from dispatch to Bozeman Police, Bozeman Fire, AMR, the hospital, everybody that was involved directly in this situation. And then we're going to follow up the next day with a debriefing with the entire department. These type of things, as Chief Crawford indicated, leave a lot of unanswered questions when something's unexpected, something is not foreseen, that you don't know how to deal with. And we got, again, as Chief Crawford indicated, put our boots and our belts back on and head back out on the street, and the officers have to continue to respond to calls. The dispatchers have to continue answering the phones. Medical personnel have to keep dealing with whatever medical emergencies or non-emergencies that they encounter. So it's super important that we take care of each other so we can continue to do that. Following the departmental one, we're also our families. We have our law enforcement family, and then our personal families, and a lot of them, a lot of the other spouses we're very close friends with Danielle, and so it's very important that both our spouses, all of our spouses and partners and family members understand the stress that we're going through, as well as help them deal with the stress of really losing one of their friends as well. That's just speaks to the family that we have, as far as just our extended family, right? We have our spouses and our children and our friends, but we're also each other's friends and family in emergency services. So it's super important that we all take care of each other. Is there any questions about any of those things or what we do for each other?
I guess my question is, is there any specifics you can tell us about what you mean by debrief and support? Is it just someone there to talk to them, or is it?
It really, it's a process that was set down and has been developed many years ago. It's specific. I mean, we're kind of a unique animal in some senses, is that we deal with these stressful things every day, and then have to turn around and go to the next call that might not be as critical at the time, but it's just important to that member of the society that we give them the best service that we can. So we have to be able to deal with this and then move on and deal with other things. So a debriefing is a very structured 7-step process that has been developed, and it really works all of us through the specifics of the scene. In the case of the debriefing that will be done with the staff at the time, the specifics of what they did, and we talk about what was your first thought when the call come out. We talk about what was the worst part, and then we do talk about signs and symptoms that they've been experiencing. We're all unique, and just like we're not a bunch of robots, right? We all have processed things in different ways, and so it's super important that we allow them to really experience and give them some tools to help them process through those things and the way they're handling it. So it's okay and normal to feel badly about this situation. It's when you don't have any indications that something bad's going to happen. So we just kind of work through, and we all take care of each other, and that's whether it's our staff or any of the staff in the building that we work with or that Zach worked with every day. So it's just, so we just run through this process, this these steps, and it gives people tools. I mean, in a way, when you think about cops and firemen, feelings is kind of a dirty word to some extent, but we all have them, and it's all normal, and we end up having to compartmentalize them a lot of ways, just so that we can deal with the next call that comes in and give the society and the community the service that they deserve. All right, and I think as time goes on, there may be more information that's made available. A lot of that will be through, as Chief Crawford said, through DCI. But if there's specific questions and stuff down the road, I mean, feel free to filter them through, and if we can answer them, we will. And again, I appreciate you giving us the time to kind of fill you in and bring you up to speed on what's going on.